From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Ryan Aber, OU beat writer. Ryan, looks like the Sooners have filled all those coaching vacancies. Well, not all. There was only a couple. It's not like a ton, but Jamar Cain is going to be that defensive coach, fill in that Ruffin McNeill, his departure left, coming from Arizona State, but has a pretty decently long track record in college football coaching. What do we know at this point about Cain?
Yeah, I actually got a chance to talk to a couple of his players, both at Fresno State, where he was a couple years before he arrived at Arizona State last year, and at Wyoming, where he was a couple stops before that. And they raved about the way this guy connects to his players. Talked to Malik Forrester, who was a defensive lineman for him at Fresno State. Jeff Allison, who was a linebacker, wasn't even one of his players position-wise, but really connected with him. And you hear, as you hear about Jamar Cain and talk to people about him, you hear recruiting brought up so much and his ability to attract players that want to play for him. And although none of these guys were recruited by him, they understand why he's such an effective recruiter because of the way he's able to connect to his guys.
Seems like when you look at those fingerprints of him as a person, as a coach, as a recruiter, he's going to fit in really well with this defensive staff. I mean, is your sense that he just kind of fits like a puzzle piece in this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the guys that they've got on that defensive staff, Calvin Thibodeau up front, Brian Odom, who's done a really good job of recruiting, Roy Manning, Alex Grinch, all of them are strong recruiters, and that's something that they've really been focused in on. And not that the outside linebacker position, that rush linebacker, edge rusher, depending on what you want to call it, has been a problem for Oklahoma like some of the other defensive areas, but at the same time they want to try to ratchet up their game across the board, and this is somewhere where they thought they could do that.
Lastly, if you look at Lincoln Riley's coaching staff, maybe it shouldn't surprise us, but the median age of this group continues to go down. I mean, you replace Ruffin McNeill with a young guy, and you see 30-somethings almost across the board on this staff. How does that impact things in your mind, Ryan?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying young, because Jamar Cain is in his 40s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, low 40s. I think he's 40. Maybe
he still
41.
brings down that median age.
Yeah,
though.
no,
he's
he
not
still
Ruffin McNeill.
Certainly went on the other side of that.
Yeah.
But even outside of his age, the players I talked to said that he can connect to young players. He acts like them. I think it was Malik Forrester told me that he likes to wear skinny jeans, which I'm not sure about that. But he said his players sort of give him grief about it sometimes. But at the same time, that connection is there, and I think that's a big part of recruiting, is being able to connect to guys. And it's not always dependent on age, but it helps to have guys that are a little bit more current and, I don't want to say anybody's out of touch,
right,
but certainly that can connect to, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
All right, we'll continue to monitor. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk with Jamar Cain and DeMarco Murray, a guy that we know well, the other new assistant coach on this staff. Maybe have a chance to catch up with them. If not, we'll have coverage of OU's limited signing day activity.
Looks like it's just going to be one, unless something changes late.
Yeah, but we'll have that coverage and obviously ongoing as we head towards spring football, which will be here before you know it. So be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.